set to record. So, as you guys know, oh, actually, just put a one in the Zoom chat that you can see my screen. Everything's working fine. It should be perfect. Well, as you know, today we have got the 90-day blueprint. So, for my current clients, we are locking in September. Okay, so we're just on the back of a 6 week challenge whilst the schools have been off. Then we are jumping into the final push of the year. Because for a lot of you, when we go into December or even the back end of November, really, December, it's not about completely shutting off. It's just about tweaking the December sort of month, ready to start afresh from January. Because even if you're on a diet, like if you're in a calorie deficit, you need to have a break at some point. So for you guys, this is the perfect push for you to go from September all the way through to November to then, as I say, not just to completely relax, it's just to tweak the plan, get through December, and we will start January brand new. But it's also for you guys to reflect on this call, to be like, what did you set yourself out to achieve this year? Have you achieved it? Or have you not? And if you haven't, then this is going to be the perfect blueprint to sort of keep you accountable for the next 90 days. So if you've just joined, I'll do a bit more housekeeping for you, is that we've got the Zoom chat up. So I will be asking questions, and that is your way to respond to me in the Zoom chat. You don't need to unmute or anything like that. Use the Zoom chat box. And then if you have any questions, I will probably save all questions to the end. But if there is something that pops up on my screen that is, I feel that we need to address it there and then we'll address it, or I'll ask you if you've got a question as we go. So if you want to write down a question, pop it on your notepad and then you can save it to the end so you don't forget. So, question to you then. What could actually change in 90 days? Do you know? Do you think you can get fitter? Do you think you can get stronger? Jenny says everything can change in 90 days, and you're already 90 days in, and you can see how much you have changed, Jenny. So, Megan, my mindset on everything. Or if you're kind of like, I don't know what can change in 90 days. Maybe you've got a bit of like limiting beliefs. Maybe like you set yourself out to achieve something and maybe you're like, oh no, I don't think I can achieve that. Well, let me show you. So we've got Joanna. Joanna in 90 days lost 7 kilos in 3 months. But before joining or doing the things on this blueprint, the things that we're going to talk about today, she tried other diets. She constantly blamed her partner for portion sizing, not eating, let's say, the most nutritious things. She was too busy to go to the gym. Sarah, I commute in the mornings, I start my 9 to 5. By the time I commute home, I'm tired, I want dinner. It'll be 8 o'clock by the time they get to the gym. I'm not going at 8 o'clock. She wanted to gain confidence in the gym and also her body. So, the things that we discuss today in this blueprint is exactly what she did over the course of 90 days because she finally realized that she doesn't need to go to the gym 5 times a week. If she consistently goes twice, that's 2 evenings that she has to really push through and get something done. Or she actually used to wake up extra early, get the earlier train, and she found a gym near work. So there are ways around it. And sometimes you need to think, okay, what is actually an excuse and what can I actually work on? Or we've got Lindsay in her time using this blueprint, this 12-week or 90-day blueprint. When she first spoke to me, she said, Sarah, I know what to do, but it's my weekends. I'm too social. But I don't want to stop being my social self. And I said, of course not. You don't have to. But did she really know what she needed to do? Did she really know? No, because when I started to see her nutrition, we realized actually she doesn't eat enough fiber. She didn't really know what fiber was and why was it so important. Her protein wasn't from whole food sources. It was from protein powder, protein bars, and protein products. And when she actually became more aware of the nutritional choices she was making, she was like, oh, this is why I've been stuck so long. And in the 12 weeks, she was 4 kilos down and her muscle mass went up, which was incredible. That was the one thing she wanted. Sarah, I don't want to go on a weight loss journey. I want to keep my muscle up because I've been working so damn hard at CrossFit, but I want to drop body fat so I can feel more confident and feel more strong and toned. Or we've got Michelle. Before starting a 90-day plan, she lost 13 kilos in 4 months, so 3 to 4 months. And when she joined me, she was 5 months postpartum at the time. In this original photo, she used to train 3, 4 times a week. She said, Sarah, I want to look like I go to the gym. I'm doing all this hard work, and why don't I look the way I want to look? Right, okay, let's look at your nutrition then. And we found out she was restricting Monday to Friday, going all in at the weekends, drinking most weekends as well. So when we really knuckled down on her nutrition, which is exactly what we're going to do in this call, boom, 13 kilos lost in 4 months. So I'm going to actually put it in the Zoom chat. I want to know, what do you want to achieve in the next 90 days? And as you're writing, I'm going to tell you a little story because I've put some Christmas photos for you because as we know, in 90 days, we are going to be fully in Christmas mode. Some of you might even have your Christmas trees up. But I want to talk about my mum in this top left photo. And she is super confident here. And she started her strength training journey at 60 years old. After years and years and years of Weight Watchers, Slim Fast Shakes, Slimming World, and all of these beliefs that you have to eat really, really little and do loads and loads of cardio. And finally, something clicked. And I've been telling her this for a long time, okay? Something's clicked. And she was like, no, something's got to change. Is it because my sister's pregnant? I don't know. Or is it that she's got to 60 and she's like, God, I want to think about my future. I want to be able to move my body. I want to be able to run around. I want to be able to tie my shoelaces. I don't want to be falling over. So something has clicked and boom, over the last year, she's completely transformed and I'm really, really proud of her. So let's read out some goals then. Holly's exactly the same as Michelle. I'm at the gym 5 times a week and do strength, but you want to look like you go to the gym. Amazing. That's a good goal. And you know what? You can do that if you follow this blueprint. So this is what you can achieve in 90 days. So if you're currently feeling like you're stuck in a cycle of restricting and overeating, constantly starting over, feeling frustrated within your current routine, always saying like I'm on a diet or I've got to start that diet plan or I'm going to be good this week, those sorts of feelings. And all you want is to achieve your goals, see results without extremes, without overwhelm, constantly thinking what you need to do next, giving up your life and build trust within yourself. Then if you stay to the end of this call, current clients and others that aren't a part of SGC, if you stay till the end, if you message me something, if you stay to the end, I've got an offer for you, but I won't give it up too quickly. So, before I continue, this isn't about quick fixes. Current clients, you know that this isn't about quick fixes whatsoever, but if you are all ready for hard work and a sustainable approach, if you follow this 90-day blueprint, you will be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Because the reason why what you're doing now isn't working is because potentially you're in the all or nothing mindset, you're labeling foods as good and bad, relying on motivation in order to see a result. You're trying to be perfect. And this is a really strong word that I'm saying with you guys at the moment is perfect. Monday to Friday, then spiraling at the weekends and constantly restarting. But the one thing that we know is the reason why you're stuck is because of restriction. It's a very common thing. Restriction leads to cravings. Cravings leads to overeating. Overeating or overindulgence leads to guilt, and you restart that process and you restart it over again. So you will get to know that we have no rules inside this blueprint. Because the one thing that is going to keep you from starting over is restriction. So what do you need instead? A clear nutrition strategy that you can live with. If you stick to this blueprint, you will be able to live with these habits going forwards. Training that gives your body a reason to change. So, Holly, giving your body to a reason to look like you go to the gym. A system that keeps you doing it when motivation disappears. Because trust me, in week 8, I've got something in place so that the motivation doesn't disappear. The goal isn't to see how much you can suffer over the next 90 days, which is probably what a lot of you have done before. Weight Watchers, Slimming World. To me, that is a sign of suffering. Juice cleanses, keto diets, potentially trying veganism because you've seen that that is healthy. That was a trend a few years ago. It's not about how much you can suffer. It's about building a routine that actually produces results that last. And this should be a blueprint that allows you to never have to say the words diet again. Oh, I'm going on a diet. I must start that diet next week. I don't want you to be saying that ever again. So put a 1 in the Zoom chat just so I know that you're still with me, you're still listening, and then we will get going into this 90-day blueprint. Amazing. Ones. Good. So I'm going to be breaking down 3 phases today. Fuel, build, and become. Why 3? Because there's going to be 3 different months, and I don't want you to feel like you need to do it all at once. It's not just going to be, right, 1st of September, we're going on this health kick, let's go. It's like, no, actually, I've got to focus on these things for the next 4 weeks. And then I can start adding and adding and adding. This isn't a sprint, this is a marathon, okay? So you don't need to feel like you need to do it all at once. So, phase 1. As we know, this is going to be fuel. I really like putting nutrition at the forefront of all of your programs because without good relationships with food, everything you do in the gym, everything that you do on a run, a walk, or whatever type of exercise that you do, you're not going to get the result without putting your nutrition first. And for a lot of us women, we do think eating less is what's going to get us to the results. But I want you guys to know how to eat better. No more food rules. No more being stuck in the ways that we've been brought up in to think that some foods are bad. And it's not the case. It's learning how to be able to have a good relationship with food, be in control with the food that you consume, knowing what you're putting into your body is good. Because I know a lot of you on this call will know that you should be prioritizing protein, vegetables. You know that takeaways are higher in calories than a home cooked meal. You know water is important. Knowledge isn't the issue here. It's being able to apply it in everyday life. And this is what this fuel phase is going to teach you. So, what should nutrition give you? It should do 4 things. At the end of the day, you do need the right energy balance. You do need to be in a form of calorie deficit because if you are matching your energy or you're eating more than the energy you are outputting, then you're not going to be losing weight or, let's say, losing fat. So there does need to be the right calorie deficit there. But I don't want you guys to go and just look it up on a calorie calculator online. That's not the way to do it. See what you are currently fueling yourself with and then just take it down and then see if the weight changes after taking off 100 kilos and then do it again. But I don't want you to be going to the extremes because, well, put it into the Zoom chat. What causes you to start over again? What was that one word? What was that one word that makes you start over again? Restriction. Jenny, bingo. So putting yourself into like a 500 calorie deficit, so probably 1400 and below, you're going to struggle. And at some point, the cravings are going to kick in and you're going to overindulge at some point. Then, food should keep you full. So we should have protein, fiber, and we should look at your volume of your food. Your nutrition should fuel your training, so making sure that you are fueling in the mornings before you start training, or having a look at your afternoon snacks to make sure that if you've got an evening workout, you're fueling correctly. And it should fit real life. There are so many women on this call, and that's all of you are different. Some of you may have kids, some of you may solo cook every evening, some of you might have to cook for partners or family members. You might go out a lot for food. You might have to eat out with work a lot, or you might work shift work. So you're not eating at normal times and you're like, you get home, do you eat breakfast? Do you sleep? What do you do? Everyone is so different, so it needs to fit your real life. So the best calorie deficit isn't always the lowest, as I've said. I want you guys to be on the highest amount of food. Why? Because if you're on the highest amount of food and still seeing results, you will be losing fat, not weight. Two completely different things. A weight loss journey, you'll be losing a mixture of fat, muscle, and water. Whereas on a fat loss journey, which is what we all want to be on, you are losing fat, just fat. And that's why having a really good nutritional focus is what's going to allow you to get that strong, lean physique that we all desire. So, what are we going to do then? In your notebooks and pens, this is what you need to achieve in the first 30 days. First, from the 1st to the 30th, or the 31st. I don't even know how many months are in September, but let's say 1 to 30. So, how many of you can say that you have 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 3 dinners, 3 snacks that you can repeatedly make that has 30 grams of protein, that adds up to at least 30 grams of fiber a day, that fits your carbohydrates, and it also includes something you generally enjoy? So maybe it is chocolate covered strawberries, maybe it's a protein bake that you've made. Megan, still learning. Amazing. I reckon some of you on this call would have 2, but I don't think any of you would be able to say you've got all 3 on rotation. And how amazing will that be if within 4 weeks you can actually leave the blueprint knowing that you have got a rotational meal plan that you don't even need to think about? You like it all. It has all of your protein in there. You know you'll hit your fiber for the day. It has a good balance of carbohydrates. And if you're like, where's all my veg? Your veg is in your fiber, by the way. If you're able to just recycle all of these recipes week in, week out, how easy is it going to be when life gets hard or when you don't know what to cook? I think that is a bigger win than any sort of weight loss win, because this is what's going to allow you to maintain your results. And if you are on a fat loss journey, maintain your fat loss results too. Then we are all going to be tracking and planning our food. You're going to plan tomorrow's or the week's food the night before. Because who here in the Zoom chat, you can put me, sometimes walks through the front door. Maybe it's after work, or maybe it's when you've got the kids after, you've picked up the kids. You get in, you're absolutely starving. You then snack all the way up until dinner, have dinner. You feel like you've just thrown it all out the window. Ah, might as well have dessert then. Might as well just carry on being rubbish for the rest of the evening. Me. Yeah. You see? So we need to start planning this hunger in. We have been told year after year, 3 meals a day. We should only need 3 meals a day. I have 5. Breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack. Do I think about food in between meals? No. Am I full and satisfied every evening? Yes. But if I didn't have my yogurt bowl, would I be thinking, oh, what's in the cupboard? What chocolate could I eat? Yes. That's why I have my yogurt bowls every evening, because it turns off that sweet tooth. I look forward to it. So I want you guys to be planning in your hunger. You can have 5 meals, you can have 4 meals, you could have 6 meals if you wanted to, because it fits your calories, it's planned, it's prepped, and then that will switch off that food noise in between. We've got to be prepared. Then we need to think about our weekends. For a lot of you, you might have meals out, takeaways spontaneously, you might have drinks, you might be going for a Sunday roast. But we don't want our weekends to turn into a 12-hour cheat day or a weekend cheat day. Do you know how powerful it is to have 5 days of being good? But what about 7? What about 7 days of consistency, knowing that your takeaway can be included in that? Or going for a Sunday roast can be included in that. You're thinking, yeah, but how? How do I do that? Well, could you look at the menu before? Could you decide what alcohol you're going to drink? So you might not be tracking the whole weekend, but plan as much as you can beforehand. And you're thinking, God, I've got to do all this planning. How am I going to do this? Set a timer. It will take you 15 minutes, maybe even less. If you're like, right, I've got to do this before I go to bed tonight, boom, timer on. Do you know how good you will feel knowing that you've planned and prepped what you can in the moment before the weekend? Gosh, you're going to feel like you're ready for it. And you know whose story is absolutely amazing is Louise's. Louisa joined at Christmas time during a house renovation with two kids and being a full-time art teacher in a secondary school. And she managed to lose 9 kilos. So I think if Louisa can do it without a kitchen and living in her mum's home for a few weeks in 90 days, I think you guys can do it. Because Louisa didn't need another diet. She needed to understand what she needed. She needed to plan. She needed to prep. She needed to be ready for the week. She needed to know that what the breakfast that she was having was going to be able to fill her up. The biggest thing we changed was looking at her nutrition and going, wow, you're only consuming 30 grams of protein a day. Over the course of the 90 days, we increased it to around 100 grams a day. And she managed to lose 9 kilos. So really, really focusing on what we've done here. She recycled meals every single week. She planned for her hunger. You best believe once school finished, she had her snack pot ready. And then she dealt with the weekends, week in, week out, and especially over the Christmas period, there was a lot of weekends that we needed to plan. But she did. And it didn't take long and it wasn't hard. So, is there any questions about phase one or put all good in the Zoom chat? Nice. So, we've just finished September. So, think about what you can do in September. Now we're going to go into November, okay? September, October. We're in October. Now we're going to build. So, we've just focused on our nutrition. Now we're going to focus on our gym work. So, if you want to look toned, you need to give your body something in order to see that result. So, who here has ever said, put yes in the Zoom chat, if you've ever said you want toned arms, you want defined legs, or you just want to be toned or leaner? I want to look lean rather than skinny. I want my bum to look better or bigger. All of these. So when I hear the word toned, as soon as somebody says, I want to be toned, that sends alarm bells in my mind. Right, okay. So you want to build muscle? Cool, we can do that. You want to change your body composition? Cool, we can do that. But what are you currently doing to try and build muscle? For a lot of you, it will be gym classes, running, HIIT workouts, Pilates maybe. I'm shaking my head if you can't see me. That's a weight loss journey. And what did I say weight loss was? A mixture of fat, muscle, and water. What you need to be doing week in, week out is strength training. Strength training is going to be the only thing that reduces fat in your body. And as we get older, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, our muscle mass declines every decade. So we need to really think about maintaining our muscle, growing muscle. It's not going to make you be bulky. I'm very petite. I'm 5'2". I strength train 3 to 4 times a week. I'm not bulky. It's very, very hard to become bulky. And I don't think any of us are scared of that. I hope that there has been, if you've been following me for a while, you will know that actually that's not the case. But for any of you that is still scared of getting bulky, trust me, you're going to realize if you are before you actually become bulky because it's very, very hard. So you've got to be strength training week in, week out. So who's heard of progressive overload? And actually, can anyone describe it in the chat? Don't worry, Megan, we will go over what progressive overload is, but I'm just wondering, can anybody actually do a definition? Gonna give it one more minute because you're probably typing away. Sarah, consistently increasing load and volume. Perfect. So this is the only way to build muscle and develop a toned physique. So, or example of that could be 1 week you lift 12 kilos, the next week you lift 14. Or you might go, okay, I lifted 12 kilos for 8 reps last week. So this week I'm going to lift that same 12 kilos, but for 10 reps. Or you might find, and this is an example that I did today. So I was with my coach today. We was doing incline bench press, and he started to spot me with the 15 kilos, and we were like, no, this isn't happening for 6 reps. So, right, we've got to go back to the 12 and a halves. But instead of, we know we can do 3 sets of 8. That's how big the jump is. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 reps at 12 and a halves. Weird, I know, but we already know that I can do 3 sets of 8. But we're going to slow down that tempo. I had to do 3 slow seconds and then try and push that up. So that will either be better depth or range, more control, different tempo. It's going to improve your technique as well. These are all ways to progress. So if you want to look sexy, strong, hot, whatever you want to call it, toned, it's boring. It's boring, okay? But will you see it as boring when you love the reflection in the mirror? Probably not. I can give you a different example. You guys might be seeing on my story my eggy porridge, right? And you guys will be like, some of you anyway, some of you love it. Some of you be like, that's disgusting, Sarah. You're eating eggy porridge. But what happens if that eggy porridge was the reason why you start to love yourself in the mirror? I don't think you'll see the eggy porridge as disgusting anymore. So can you see that it is perception? It's what you're telling yourself. Oh, I don't want to do the same thing week in, week out. But when you actually realize that it works and you're getting the body and the physique that you want, oh my God, suddenly you love it. I love strength training. So here's what we need to do then. You need to film your exercises. Why? Because you can get feedback on your exercises and you can start to see, what am I rushing? Have I got good form? Do I need to slow it down? Do I need to actually, it looks quite easy. Maybe I should go heavier. Filming your exercise is a really great tool to have. You need to track it either in your notes page or in the app itself. You need to track the exercise, the weight, and the reps so that you don't forget what you did the week before. It's very hard to intentionally progress. Oh, it's very hard to remember what you did last week and then go, oh yeah, I think I did that. No, be intentional with it. Know what you've done. Track it, exercise, weight, and reps. Then you've got to beat it. Every week won't be PBs, as you saw me today with my 15 kilo bench press. It wasn't a PB, right? But it's okay. I still progressed in a way. Do the things that scare you. Go into the weights area alone. Try the heavier dumbbells. Try the dumbbells that you've never picked up before. Maybe go and use the squat rack because you are worthy in that gym space. You are worthy to use every single piece of equipment. And the only way you're going to get to your results is doing the things that scare you. And would it be harder to stay as you are, never achieving that goal? Or would it be harder to actually get into the gym and just do it anyway? I know the hard I'm choosing. You don't wait to feel confident. By doing it is how you gain confidence. And let me tell you my story. Because did you think I walked into the gym for the first time being confident? God, no. God, no. Do you think I had great form to start off with? No. Did I only ever lift a dumbbell in my house before going into the gym? Yes. But I invested. I asked questions. If the gym was quiet, I would go up to the person that worked there and be like, do you mind showing me the leg press? I'm just really scared it's going to crush me. Like, yeah, sure. You're one question away of being confident in using something. I spent time doing the scary things. There were so many times I walked in, gosh, the gym is way too busy, I'm going home. Then I went home, but the next day I went back. I didn't just stop showing up. I didn't just cancel my gym membership. I failed on reps. I was on the bench press with the barbell. A man had to come and save me because I crushed myself. And he's probably thinking, she's literally got 2.5 kgs on each side. But sorry, I'm still worthy to be here. The first time ever doing a wall ball in the gym, I threw that wall ball up, boom, smacked me in the head. But I still showed up. And now I get to do these amazing things, help you guys, because I've gained the confidence to do that. So, what I'm trying to say is don't give up because confidence isn't a body size. It's not being a size 6, a size 8, a size 10. It's being able to do the scary things, build self-trust, have the habits day in, day out, week in, week out. That's what's getting you confidence. It's not, oh yeah, I'll be happy then. I'll happy when I fit into these pair of jeans. I'll be happy then. No, start being happy now and work hard for it. So, does anybody actually have questions on the workout side of things? So, you need to track the weight, you need to push yourself to do the scarier things, you know that you need to film your exercises, and you know that you need to progress every single week. Yeah, perfect, Megan. You said all good. Nice. So we're now going to go into the third phase, and this is the most important phase because motivation is going to dip, right? At some point across these 90 days, motivation will dip. There's a half term in these 90 days. How are you going to deal with the half term? You've just focused on your nutrition, you've focused on your workouts. Well, how are we going to stay focused in the last month? So that is where we become. Become the woman who doesn't need to start again and again and again. The fuel and the build is what's going to get you results. Anyone can give you a workout plan, a nutritional plan. But becoming is what's going to stop you from losing the results that you've gained. So let me give you two examples. Woman A is the perfectionist mindset, and this might be your current mindset as well. So you miss a workout, the week's ruined. You go for a meal out, might as well carry on. The scales go up, oh my God, can't have potatoes with my dinner tonight. You go on holiday, I'll start when I'm home. And you have a busy week, oh, I can't do anything. Too busy to just do anything. Or we can start working on that mindset and going, okay, well, I've missed a workout today. I'm going to make sure I prioritize it tomorrow. I have got a meal out this week. Right, okay, I'm going to make sure that I prep my breakfast for the morning. I know exactly what I'm having for lunch, and I'm still going to go and enjoy that meal out. And you know what? To be extra prepared, after the meal out, I'm even going to know what dessert I'm going to have when I go home. The scale goes up. Okay, well, I've been weighing inconsistently. So let's look at that trend. Oh, yes, I'm in the luteal phase. And that's exactly why my weight went up last month. Because I'm in the luteal phase now. If you don't know what the luteal phase is, it's part of your menstrual cycle. Or it might just be a case of you've been a little bit stressed this week. It might be that we've had the really hot weather. It might be that you did go out for a meal yesterday. You need to look at the trends. You go on holiday. Okay, well, what habits can I maintain? Can I maintain my steps? Can I go to the gym, check out the hotel gym? Can I make sure I'm just staying hydrated every day? Then if you've got a busy week, okay, well, instead of doing nothing, what about if I just do one? Go out for one run, one home workout, one gym workout, whatever it is. You lower the target, you don't abandon it. So phase 3 is about becoming the person who doesn't say, I'm trying to lose weight anymore, to somebody who says that they train. Yeah, I'm someone who trains. I'm someone who prioritizes protein. I'm someone who looks after myself. I'm someone who can go out for dinner without feeling guilty. And actually having that mindset, you know what? I think that beats any weight loss goal. It does. because you know you have finally cracked it. You've finally cracked a lifestyle that you are going to maintain, and it's going to support you for the future. Whether you're 30s going into your 40s, 40s going into your 50s, 50s going into your 60s and beyond. You've now got a lifestyle that you are going to maintain going forwards. So, how do we do that then? So, this is where we really dig deep. So, you now know what is sustainable. So, you've got to create your non negotiables according to your week. So, instead of doing 100% or zero, you start to learn how to do 60% consistently. So, you need to pick three things you do regardless of motivation. So, even if you're really, really tired, I'm going to go prep my overnight oats. You know what I'm doing after this call? I'm prepping me and Dan our overnight oats for Friday morning. Or is it that you lay your clothes out because you know what? You feel so much better in the morning that you don't need to decide what you need to wear for work? It's done. Or is it a bit more like, actually, my non negotiables are 2 workouts a week, drinking water every day? It can be totally different for every single one of you. The next thing is you're going to build your plan when life happens. This is a separate plan. We've got a plan that works day in, day out, week in, week out. But what about if you need to go pick up your child from school early because they've fallen sick? What about if you've got extra family responsibilities because somebody is ill or poorly? What happens if your dog emergently needs to go to the vets? What happens if you spontaneously booked a holiday? Or it's that time of year where you see more people? What about when you've got to do a renovation in your house? When life happens, yeah? When the chicken's in the fridge has gone off and you're like, oh, I planned that for dinner. Or you forgot to get it out the freezer. When life happens. Because it's not about waiting until you have the most optimal time. Some of you might be thinking, oh yeah, September is a brilliant time to start back on it again. Kids have gone back and September is just a really, really good month to start again. But something like that, what I've just listed, is going to happen all of the time. So if you can't get to the gym, what's your plan B? Right, okay, I do the same thing at home. If you're eating out, you don't just starve yourself all day. You make sure that you've got your breakfast and your lunch ready. If you've overeaten, you don't just keep overeating or then restrict. You go, right, what's my next meal going to be? It's going to return exactly back to normal. If you're exhausted, then why don't you go, right, okay, instead of going to the gym tonight, I'm going to go for a walk and get to bed early. I'm going to go to bed an hour earlier. Prioritize your sleep rather than forcing a workout. And then you've got to remind yourself of all of the things that you have done that has been good. Because we're so quick to be harsh on ourselves. Didn't get my steps in, had a rubbish day. Didn't go to the gym, had a rubbish day. Well, what else did you do? There will be a win every single day. Because you don't just wake up one day being really toned, feeling really good and being confident. The things that we are building within this phase is collecting all the evidence that you can trust yourself. You can trust opening a bar of chocolate, having two lines, and putting the chocolate bar back in the fridge and not touching it until the next day. That's self-trust and confidence. And I think that is way more powerful than any other sort of win. But you're thinking, but Sarah, you haven't told me what to eat, what to do. Is this actually going to work? Well, yes. Yes, it is. Because people that have done this 90-day structure have been able to wear the bikini again, be able to wear the sports bra in the gym, be able to put the jeans back on. Cry in Tesco because you're buying clothes that you never thought you would. Being a weight that haven't been in years before. It works. Why does it work? Because you're not restricting or being extreme. You're developing a new lifestyle, and that's what we're going to do between September and the end of the year. And how exciting is that, being able to take this lifestyle into next year, a brand new start? That excites me. And what do you do after the 90 days? Well, you review. You review what you've done. Well, what worked? What was difficult? What habits now feel normal? Where did you struggle? What am I stronger at? What needs adjusting? what are my next 90-day goals? Because as I said at the beginning of this call, this isn't a quick fix. It's 90 days to change your direction, to change how you feel. I don't want you starting January again, searching for the next big thing. We already know it's boring. To change your lifestyle, to live a lifestyle that maintains a confident physique and a confident result, it's boring. But will you think it's boring when you've actually achieved it? No. So I want you to think once you finish these 90 days, this is just what I do now. I know I've got these meals on repeat. I know that I go to the gym twice a week without even having to plan it. I just go, just turn up there, just go. That's how I want you to feel. So you are probably thinking, but where is the calorie calculator? What workout should I be doing? Do I know my form is right? How quickly should I be progressing over the course of these 90 days? I can't answer that. I can't sit down with every single one of you and go, this is what you should be having. There's no set structure. There's no set plan. Why? Because there's no one size fits all. We all live so different lives. And that's why I love my job, because I get to help so many of you who have so many different backgrounds and lives, but we all end up achieving what we want to achieve. So that's why I haven't given you a generic nutritional and workout plan. What I've done is gone, well, what can you think about? These are the things you need to be doing alongside your day-to-day life, day-to-day work in order to see a result. So you've got three options. You can do nothing. You can walk away and be like, well, that was a waste of time. Didn't find out my calories. You can try what we've said in each phase on your own, or you can book a call with me. Because on the 1st of September, with your Inside SD, well, for those that are inside SDC, we are starting this 90-day blueprint. So for the next 24 hours, current clients and people that are new on this call, you can get 24% off, but for the first 5 women. All you need to do is DM me the word 90. So then I know that you've attended this call, and it's only for those that are live on this call too. Because over the next 90 days, you could just continue to guess your calories, find your own workouts, check your own form, decide when to progress, navigate weekends alone, motivate yourself, and work out why your progress is stalling. Or you can have me right by your side and a community of really amazing women to push you forwards in the right direction. So I'll leave you with this before we open up to a Q&A. The question isn't whether you can completely change your life in 90 days, is what direction could your life be heading in the next 90 days? So, any questions about anything we've spoken about in tonight's call? It can be anything nutritional based, workout based, anything to do with your current lifestyle. Any questions? I'm going to give you 1 minute to put anything in. Megan, you can message me. Use my WhatsApp. You don't need to DM me. You can use my WhatsApp. Megan, I love that. I've written review, don't restart, and keep going. You never have to restart. No one should ever be restarting after working with me. Okay? You should never be restarting because you should have the tools that will last a lifetime. So, everybody, write that down. Review, don't restart. I love that. Well, if there's no questions, you can put all good in the chat. But don't forget, if you want to message me the word 90 to claim that offer, you can. Ah, here we go. Silly question. But in terms of net calories, is it what you've eaten minus what you have burnt in a day? If you eat 1,000 and burn 300, your net is 1,400. So I personally don't ever look at what my watch or ring or whatever device that you have got that tells you your burnt calories, okay? What you need to figure out is your BMR, then you can times it by your current workouts, how much you move day to day, what your job is, and you need to look at what your job is, how you move day to day in terms of your steps and the workouts that you complete. And then I would look at, well, what are you maintaining? Are you currently maintaining your weight? And if you are, what calories are you consuming? And then I would start decreasing it from there. But if you've been in a calorie deficit for a while, then you probably need to actually reverse diet yourself, actually build yourself back up to maintenance calories, get your metabolism going, and then start your reverse diet. Depends on um, how long you have been in a calorie deficit for. Great work, Caroline. Great reminder to refocus on yourself. Absolutely. So, iPad, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you iPad. Does that make sense? So, it really does depend on how long you've been in a calorie deficit for, and are you are you currently maintaining your weight on the calories that you're on? Brilliant. Yeah. So don't get too hooked up on I'm burning 400, 500 calories a day because it will drive you insane. Amazing. Well, thank you all for coming. So don't forget to message me now. Don't do it later if you said that, oh, I'll do that later. You'll forget. So do it now if you're seriously interested. But all have a lovely rest to your Thursday. I'm going to go have my yogurt bar and I'll speak to you all later on. Bye bye.